This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.
Welcome back. Opposition leader Michael Pintard is demanding the government report to the Bahamian people, particularly the residents of Grand Bahama, on the state of affairs as it relates to several major airports around the country, especially the Grand Bahama International Airport. In a recent statement, Mr. Pintard explained that in 2021, the F&M administration held a briefing to update the public and the global market on the request for proposals, which announced the need for upgrades to the airports in Freeport, Exuma, North Eleuthera, Great Harbor Key, San Salvador, Abaco, and Long Island. He said the idea was to find partners and have those airports operate similar to the successful model used by the Lyndon Pinley International Airport. Mr. Pintard said the former administration also had high interest from investors after introducing the public-private partnership program for the Grand Bahama Airport, on which the procurement process ought to have commenced in 2021, with the contract to be awarded by the first quarter of 2022. Mr. Pintard said it is unfortunate the PLP stopped this process, and after a year in office, it does not appear that Grand Bahama is any closer to a new airport. Additionally, Mr. Pintard said the opposition is now hearing reports of significant contracts for demolition and upgrades to the Grand Bahama Airport have been secured without the Grand Bahama community being afforded the opportunity to bid on the various contracts. Mr. Pintard again accused the Davis administration of avoiding standard procurement processes in the selection of contractors. According to Mr. Pintard, the government must report to the Grand Bahamian public on its plans for the airport, which is a vital government asset. He is also asking why repairs for the customs building, which funding was approved by the previous administration, has not yet commenced. 11 people on board a Flamingo aircraft are happy to be alive today after the aircraft ended up in the bushes near the runway of the Black Point Exuma Airport on Monday. The Flamingo Air Beach 99 model overran the runway after one of its landing gears malfunctioned during landing. According to the police reports, the flight was inbound from South Exuma. The aircraft received damages to the wing, the propeller, and the bottom carriage. Fortunately, there were no injuries or casualties. Investigations into the incident is being conducted by the Civil Aviation Authority of the Bahamas. Climate change mitigation and relief was once again the subject of discussion at the Caribbean Water and Wastewater Association 31st Annual Conference and Workshop being held at the Atlantis Resort. Corinne Catilla of the Inter-American Bank's Water and Sanitation Division explains the need for the Caribbean Water Utilities Insurance Company.
So there's this need to build resiliency in our water utilities. So we have an opportunity here, which the partners have seen, CRIF, IDB, and CDB, that our utilities face different levels of vulnerability. They have different risk profiles. So there's an opportunity for us to leverage the scale of those, the diversity in the risks that we face, and pool those risks together to form and create this disaster risk financing facility. But we found that it is not just about financing and plugging that liquidity gap that you have after an event, but it's also about helping you to respond when an event occurs, giving you the material, the equipment, the staff that you need, and bringing you together mutually to do that, as well as helping you to focus on resilience, so reducing your losses over time.
Caribbean Water and Wastewater Association President Marlon Daniels says the insurance introduced via the Caribbean Water Utilities Insurance Company, or CWUIC, is an attempt by the Caribbean as a region to evolve.
What the Caribbean Water Utility Insurance Company is trying to do, and that's really the title of the workshop, QUIC. What they're trying to do is to ensure that there's a pool of resources available via insurance resources so that utilities can recover quickly from natural disasters. So the workshop that is sponsored today by the IDB is really to bring together the water utility players in the region to have frank discussions as to how well this can work in the utility setting. As you know, the assets of utility are buried and is not as easily insurable as, say, a house or so forth. So the discussion today really is to have a frank talk with the utility partners to be able to properly design that insurance infrastructure, to give, to have resources available for relief for our Caribbean utilities.
Bahamas Water and Sewage Corporation Deputy General Manager and Conference Chairman Cyprian Gibson says the Bahamas is looking to apply the CWUIC insurance into their infrastructure moving forward in their water supply and wastewater management efforts. And finally, more than 126 people have applied for the Sustainable Food Growth Grant, which is meant to incentivize farmers, fishers, and agri-businessmen and practitioners to bolster food production in the Bahamas. The grant, which was launched through the Access Accelerator Small Business Development Center last month, gave applicants access to up to $50,000 towards their budding or existing businesses. The grant may be used to purchase land, construction services, renovate equipment, furniture, fixtures, vehicles, boats, supplies, and much more. The Ministry of Agriculture, Marine Resources, and Family Island Affairs allocated more than $1 million for the grant. Minister of Agriculture, Marine Resources, and Family Island Affairs, Clay Sweeting, said he was thrilled with the immense interest in the food production. And that'll do it for your JCN Evening News. Once again, I'm Jarino Saunders. It's a pleasure to have you join us.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.